Rightio guys, here we have another Wise Choice Systems build. It is in the Antec 1200. Let's get into a little bit more detail. You'll notice that here we actually have the three, which comes standard, the three 120mm fans with the blue LEDs, and then get up a bit closer and you have the fan controllers just here on the front bezel. Now we'll turn it right up to high so you guys can actually hear how loud these fans actually get. So that's on loud. Now we'll turn it down. And that's on silent. Obviously the other fans are actually still on high, so you can still hear them. Head back up to the top, obviously standard DVD-ROM. You got your reset, power, headphone mic jacks, your HDD LED, USB 3 and your two USBs. At the top here you have a 200mm fan with the blue LEDs in it as well. Now, we get onto the side panel, you've obviously got the quite large side panel window, so you can see right in there. And obviously on the side panel you can attach the side fan with 120mm. Now this is actually where we ran into some trouble. You'll notice that the case isn't actually on and it doesn't go on, so just going to bear with me for a sec guys, as I don't have my new camera yet. So I'm just going to do this one-handed again. Just going to rotate this around. We'll take this off. Now the reason that this doesn't fit is, as you guys are aware, with my high-end gaming builds I do prefer to use the Noctua CPU coolers. Now they move a butt ton of air and they're just general great coolers. Now that one's probably generally quite high. You could go for the single block or something like that, but I do prefer that one. Now the reason this doesn't fit is actually poor engineering. Well, that's what I put it down to anyway. Because if you have a look here, you'll notice that the way that the fan slides on and clips in, you'll notice that there's these little prongs here, and the fan actually sits in that. And I'll see if I can show you what I mean. So basically, this is a phobia fan, as you guys are aware. So so basically. Maybe this is it slides in and clips in, but I'm too lazy to clip it because I'm only doing it one-handed. But basically, it clips in, and then these little prongs here sit in the holes like that. All right, so basically, that would be in the holes, and then that would just clip in. But obviously, I don't want to do it because, well, I'm doing it one-handed, and there's no real point. Now, the problem that with this is obviously we didn't need a side panel because the way our CPU cooler faces is out the back. It doesn't come to the side, so we didn't need this. Now because it is actually a molded piece, you can't actually remove the prongs, which is really disappointing. Like I was hoping that you could actually take this away, or even if you could just remove that plastic and just leave the bezel there. However, if you move this plastic, the screws that are down here that hold it actually pin the bezel down underneath, so you can't actually keep it there. So the bezel will just wobble and make noise, and if you're a gamer it'll annoy you. So obviously we didn't have that option, and I haven't been able to find a flat piece of perspex from Antec or anything like that without the fan option. Now that was the first thing, so that was a bit disappointing, but all in all this is a really good case. It has a lot of airflow, but that really did disappoint me because this is a full-size case, and it doesn't actually fit gaming accessories as such. So that was really disappointing, but we'll take you in. It is an AMD build, and it is quite a high-end AMD build. Now we're actually, obviously there's your Noctua CPU cooler, and we're actually running the Asus Crosshair Formula 5. Now this is a very nice motherboard. I do prefer the EVGA version over this one, because the EVGA FTW, it's a very nice board, but this is a good board, don't get me wrong. Like, it comes with multiple options. You can have up here it comes with a cover, so you can have just the 4-pin here, or you can have the 8-pin. You can have 4-pin over here, and then down here, I don't know if I can get you in there, but we'll try. but there's actually a Molex connector just where my finger is. You might just see it. But yeah, there you go. See, there is an actual Molex connector in there as well for the ROG Connect. So if say you're running multiple cards and everything like that. Now we actually installed an XFX HD 6870 graphics card. Now this is a decent sized G card, and as you can see, it actually does hit the SATA cables. There is no gap there, guys. There is zero gap. So you can fit it in there, but it is quite tight. Now also the CPU that we're running in there is in fact the it is the AMD chipset, and it is the FX 8120, and we're also running 8 gig of Vengance low profile memory. As usual with the RAID, you know, you've got your OCZ SSD in there, and then your 3 SATA drives, and then up there you've got your SATA optical. So all in all, that's a build. I'll take you through. Oh, and we also obviously got the Enemax Evolution 85 Plus. I'm actually possibly going to be changing these power supplies now. I mean, instead of using Enemax, using an Australian company, but we're still in talks and still sort of working that out, but we'll see how we go. So I haven't finished the cable management here. I would have tightened this off so that it sits down here in the corner. The reason why is because all this is coming out and going into another case, because it was either lose the cooler or lose the case, and well, we chose to lose the case. But anyway, and another thing that I like about this board as well is you've got your overclock, your start, and your reset, and then you've got USBs and stuff like that. You'll also notice that it comes with headers as well, that actually slide on. So I'm not actually 100% sure. I didn't really do much research into those headers to find out if they're actual surge protected or anything like that, if that's why they're there. All I know is that they came in the box, and it you know, told me to put them there, so I put them there. So, but I probably will have a look into that a bit later. Also running the Asus Sona sound card. So although this case was a little bit disappointing on cable management, all in all, it's not too bad. The motherboard and the CPU are quite powerful as well. Take you around the back. Now this is the back of the motherboard. You actually have a clear CMOS button here, so if you do overclock it and you screw up, you can actually clear your CMOS instead of having to try and get into your BIOS or using jumpers and stuff like that to try and clear it all, so that you can actually get out of a power loop or something like that. And obviously you've got your audio, you got your you've also got your USB ports, Ethernet, and everything like that. So all in all, it's not too bad case, and there it is. Well, also just for the record, it actually benches not far off the Intel option. It actually benched higher than the K5, than the i5K. Now, just I am going to answer this question because I get asked it a lot. I am an Intel, I'm an AMD builder. I don't really do much. I've done a lot of Intel lately, but I do prefer AMD over Intel, and a lot of people ask me why. So I'm going to answer that question right now. Now, although Intel are great and everything like that, the thing that I don't like about Intel, and this is my biggest thing, is I don't like the fact that if I buy the next processor, I generally have to upgrade my mobile and everything else as well. The thing I like about AMD is I'm not going to see the difference in gaming. I'm not going to, so if I am playing Battlefield or anything like that, I'm not going to notice any difference. It's still going to play the same. It's still going to do what I want it to do. And when I decide to upgrade to, say, the next processor, generally I can use the same MOBO. So if I go out and buy an ROG board, like a high-end, for example, like what we've got in here now, when the new processor comes out, I can chuck it straight in there and chuck in some more RAM and maybe another graphics card, so I can save quite a fair bit of money. Whereas with Intel, generally you have to rotate and update everything, and it does kind of annoy me a fair bit. And not only that, it's a lot cheaper. Like, for this is pretty much all high-end for a AMD build. it's got I think it's got the second highest processor. It's got it's a Republic of Games board. It's got a the Noctua cooler. It's got decent RAM in there. It's got a high-end graphics card. Very, very high-end power supply. Another thing, guys, I'd always recommend an Enemax power supply because their rails are true. So like what voltage you get from it is a lot truer than say a Crosshair one or something like that. That's why generally I won't run them. And the Enemax power supplies are really, really good. But anyway, so basically for almost half the price of a high-end Intel build, you can generally build a really good AMD build. And as I said, you won't notice any difference. In fact, I'm clocking this next to my computer at this present stage is actually the i5 2500K, which is the one that I've been you would have seen on my videos where it says my Xpred. And this actually outperforms it. So anyway, so there's my reasoning for AMD. It's cheaper, and you can't tell any difference in your gaming anyway. Anyway, if you guys have any further questions, of course, feel free to ask. This is a lengthy video this time, but hopefully I answered a few questions at the same time. Thanks.